Hey everybody, Kelly and I did a vertical wine tasting here at Ashton Creek on Saturday. I was fortunate enough to do a quick interview with Alan Thibault, who is the winemaker here at Ashton Creek. Please enjoy the wine tasting and the video. Try to make it at least a little bit interesting for you. And remember, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and enjoy the vertical wine tasting at Ashton Creek Winery.
So I just want to go over something real quick. There's like no correct way to taste wine. I guess there's like a preferred way, but as long as you're tasting it and smelling it and processing it, you're not doing it wrong. But the best way to do it to get the full effect is to swirl it for a little bit first, and then the goal is to get your nose as close to that surface of wine, almost getting your nose wet, but not quite, to get like the full aromas as you go. And then take a step away from it for a second, maybe do that one more time, and then give it a taste and try to differentiate your aromas to what you taste on your tongue, and then see kind of where they cross over. And it always helps to, as you taste, to breathe in a little oxygen too, because that'll help create more aromas as you go.
So I'm here with Alan with Ashton Creek Winery. So Alan is the, nice to meet you.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, not a problem. No, thanks for having us. So we just finished the vertical tasting with the Cabernet Franc, which is my favorite wine, by the way. I didn't tell Alan that in advance. Anyway, but he's graciously allowed us to talk to him a little bit. So tell me, why did you decide to be a winemaker?
I don't know if I ever decided at any one point. I grew up around here. I grew up in Colonial Heights, actually. I graduated in 2011. I went off to Virginia Tech for engineering, and at around the same time, my family decided to put in a winery here in Chester. And as I was coming home in the summer and working this, I kind of fell in love with it. So I ended up switching my major to viticulture, studying grapes. I got some certificates in winemaking, and it kind of just fell in love with it over time. It was never like a firm decision to say, hey, I'm gonna go off and become a winemaker today, or it wasn't something I decided at the end of high school. It was a slow and steady process, and it was like, I could probably do this for the rest of my life. And I love it. I have so much fun. I mean, this is part of my job. I get to come through and meet
awesome.
people like you and do vertical tastings, and it's a lot of fun, so I don't see myself going anywhere anytime soon.
We agree. Like I said earlier, we basically stopped you until you guys opened up here, which is absolutely fantastic.
Sit 4 or 5 people down at a time, and we'll kind of taste it, and we'll all kind of grab like different notes from each other, because everyone's going to taste something different most likely.
Fantastic. So tell me, being here and creating the wines, what has been your biggest aha moment where you were making wine and just like, this is awesome, I absolutely love this?
I don't know. We went over this a little bit today, just like the progression of me as a winemaker.
Yes, but these people haven't heard it yet.
Yeah. So like I was telling you before, though, it's like I got into it, and it was such a like get your feet wet a little bit at a time. And then I think in 19 probably, my first vintage where I really had that aha moment, and I don't know if it was with the Cab Franc. It was actually probably with the Cab Sauv, and I had like the year before, I wasn't crazy about it. I was like, is this really something I should be doing? And then I kind of had that aha moment when I tried with it. I was like, all right, I think we're heading in the right direction with this. Like, I'm dialing in some of my wines, and I felt more comfortable, more confident as a winemaker going forward to say, okay, this is definitely what I want to do. I think this is what I could specialize in, what we specialize in. Sticking to Virginia fruit, and just trying to stick to like the expression that each vintage gives us.
So when you look at all the different vintages, look at all the different, because the varieties of grapes are just tremendous here. What do you think is your favorite one that you like to work with?
I love Cab Franc. Cab Franc's so good. I really like working with Virginia Cab Saups too. They're a tough one. It's like it's so vintage dependent. It makes it fun. I love T-Vits. I love like kind of how the industry as a whole is like embracing it, and even the customer base. I love the fruit that's coming out of Virginia for it. Our field here is something we grow right on site, and it is phenomenal. I love some of the hybrids that we're going to Virginia. Chamberson is making such great wines across the board. I mean, it's so flexible. You can make a great rosé. You can make a good dessert wine. You can make, people are making ports with it. I mean, it's a great dry wine. It's so flexible. I'm excited for what Albarino is going to do. We're going to get our first harvest off our fields for that. And I'm really looking forward to that one as well.
Very cool.
As we get more familiar with like the varieties that we're working with consistently, which we now have it narrowed in for the most part, we can kind of take each vintage and say, hey, like we know what this growing season did, and kind of direct them a little more. So, and for me personally, I'm gravitating towards like a fruit forward style. So I think you can definitely see that in the 19 from the 20, or this, even across the whole thing. The 19 like is a little more fruit forward than probably the 17. I think you get a lot more of the Hungarian oak in the 17. It's bigger from the season, so it's a little more rounded. But then as you go to the 20, I think it's even a step forward from the 19 as far as being more fruit forward. A lot of that.
Very cool, very cool. Well, I thank you very much for doing this with me, Alan. So we're at Ashton Creek here in Chester. Fantastic winery. Please, if you have not been here, please check it out. Kelly and I are actually members of the wine club. Have waited way too long to do this. Absolutely love it. But Alan, thank you so much.
Hey, thank you.
Really
Happy.
appreciate
Cheers.
it. Cheers.
It's been fun.
Cheers. Thank you for watching the video today. As you can see, it is snowing here at Ashton Creek Winery, and thank you, Alan. Appreciate the interview. If you are liking these videos and you want to see more, by all means, please like and subscribe to these videos. I greatly appreciate it. There's going to be a lot more local stuff coming here real soon. So again, thank you to everybody. Have a great day, and I gotta get in the car. It's flipping cold out here. Bye.